And here we go. Wednesday, February 16, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, my guy? How you doing?
Baby, I'm doing good today.
I'm feeling good. You know today is Wednesday. So
Yep.
you know today is Haircut Wednesday, so I'm feeling good. The beard's lined up. It's nice and trim. It's 50 degrees outside. Feeling good. And I started Bel Air last night.
Oh, how
on
is that little
By the
Peacock
way,
action?
it's amazing. They took a whole different approach to it. They didn't try to recreate Quincy Jones' 1989 show, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It's more cinematic. It's on Peacock. There's some cursing involved. Deeper stories is great. Then I noticed something when they went to commercial that J-Lo has a movie on Peacock called Marry Me. I'm taking marriage advice from J-Lo. 1 minute she was engaged to Alex Rodriguez, and then the next, Affleck.
Come on.
What's going
Ben
on,
Affleck?
man? So,
What is the deal?
Bel Air great. Marry Me. I don't know about that.
Big show today, Tom Mazawey. We've got Damien Woody
The Woodman.
and Ian O'Connor, two
Yes,
great
sir.
guests today.
Love him, from the New York Post, 3-time best-selling author in the New York Times. And he's got a great book out on Coach K, who tells how tough a decision it was, that who's going to replace me on the sideline at Duke.
And almost as big a decision, who's not going to replace
Correct.
him on the sideline at Duke. A man Michigan fans know very well, Tommy Amaker. We'll ask him
man.
about that book. Also, Damien Woody, former teammate of yours with the
teammate.
New York Jets,
Love
now
Damien.
ESPN analyst. I'm going to ask Damien Woody.
Detroit Lion?
Former
Lion.
Detroit Lion. I want to ask Damien Woody about his spot appearance in Man in the Arena.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, he played with Tom Brady for a few years.
Absolutely,
Couple
yeah.
Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Two
that
rings.
guy.
2 rings.
Played with Tom Brady for sure. Also, I do want to get this out of the way early, gentlemen.
What?
It's Braylon's birthday on Monday.
Yep.
It's Tom's birthday on
Friday.
And I just wanted to say, I hope you guys enjoy your birthday cards today. A little something in there. I
Appreciate
just
you,
want
sir.
you guys to enjoy a little bit of lunch on me, if you would.
that.
Okay.
Birmingham roast
You guys did such an amazing thing for my birthday. I feel bad I'm not going to be here. I've got a couple of days off coming up.
Yep.
But I wanted to tell you both, I love you. I hope you both have happy birthday. What did Kwame say that one time? The beer is on me.
Yes.
Lunch is on me.
Thanks,
Okay.
buddy.
Only difference is Kwame brought the whole club out, so you know what I'm saying?
If you really want
I
to give me
really
a present, you'll be here.
Right,
Not,
very good.
not after I just saw Nicole on FaceTime. No. You go with the family.
Hey, speaking of having a little fun, how about this? So
What we got?
This on Twitter today, what's trending, okay? I saw this on Twitter. It's hashtag bland Doritos.
What the hell does that mean?
Bland Doritos. We don't know. So we got some Doritos. You want some Doritos?
I've never had
Bray?
a bland
There you go.
Dorito.
There you go. Maz, what kind of
take those.
Doritos do you want?
What do you got?
I got here, you
Give-
green bag of Doritos. Look.
Maz with the hands.
Hey, you want, come here. Have some Doritos.
Maz with
There you go. Look
hands.
at that. I told you I never came out of the game.
Those were 2 good
Alex
catches,
Mayer,
though.
come here.
You got-
Come on, leave the room.
Leave the booth.
Come on, leave the booth. We got some
got
white
spicy
cheddar.
nachos.
Ready? Come on. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, Mayer.
He drops back. We in the end zone. We in the end zone.
Look what I left. Look, they're trading back here. Look what I left for myself.
Hey,
So,
hey, these are my sister's favorite, spicy nachos.
spicy nacho. I got the Cool Ranch. I feel like I got a little bit of.
Need mouthwash.
You know what I mean?
I have to eat those.
I just traded with Al May. I got the
What'd you
organic white cheddar.
They're good for you.
Can't be any good.
Well, it might be bland. It's bland Doritos.
Sam, what'd you get?
I got chili limon.
All right, suck.
There's a bathroom in the back for when you finish with those strips.
Alex, now what brand did you have?
I got Flamin' Hot Lignon again.
These are good, man.
I think what
These are
Sam
real
got.
good.
They are?
Nothing bland about this. I don't know why it
How do you
started
make-
trending on Twitter.
How do you make bland Doritos?
Maybe the white cheddar can't be any good.
They're delicious.
Really?
Yes.
I believe,
How
man,
can
he
it not?
knows he's a foodie. Maz is a foodie. He has
A junk
excellent,
foodie.
he has excellent taste buds.
So another thing trending on Twitter today, which I saw, incredibly, sneakers. Do you know why?
Gotta be something to do with MJ.
Yeah.
That's it.
The Air Jordan 1, black and red, released.
Are you serious?
You know one thing as a Pistons
much?
fan growing up. I don't know that. As a Pistons fan growing
Probably
up,
500.
Never could I ever wear.
1,000.
Now, it's a little bit different now because of the Air Jordan brand,
Right.
but I could never own a pair of Jordans.
Moms wasn't going for that.
Well, not only that, but my hatred for the Chicago Bulls and him because of the rivalry with the Bad Boys just wasn't going to happen.
I was a black kid living in Detroit, man. Of course I support Jordan.
Yeah.
Man. But my mom didn't support Jordan. I remember I asked my mom finally, I think it was I was in 6th grade. I think so. This would have been the Jordan 10s that came out, the ones that had the script on the bottom of the soles.
Yep.
And I legitimately say, hey, Mom, everybody, I went to Jesu Academy, 6 Mile, Illinois.
Shout out to Jesu Academy.
Shout out to Jesu, shout out to Catholic School Life, CYL. And that's why I told you I know about Grosse Pointe South.
St. Veronica,
There
baby,
we go.
too. Don't you forget it. We beat so many teams.
Everybody on the team were getting the Jordans, the Jordan 10s. And so finally I felt like I had a compelling argument to come to my mom and get some Jordan 10s or to get some Jordans. I said, hey, Mom, everybody on the team is getting the Jordans. And, you know, the parents were there. She saw it at the picture. She was like, all right, I get it. We go to the store, Foot Locker in Northland. Shout out to Northland, now it's closed. Get in there. My mom looks at the shoes. She looks at the price. They were $124.99.
Get out of here.
All
Back
Jordans
then.
were $125 when they came out back then. My mom was like,
What's that with inflation now?
about $220. She was like, yeah, no on these. She bought me some Elises.
Oh, man.
She didn't even get
Those are
Reebok. She went to
tennis
Elise.
sneakers.
She went to Elise with the big orange basketball that
Did
wasn't
you
Reebok.
wrong.
Let's just say my picture, you could see the disdain in my face on my basketball picture.
Best pair of shoes I ever had growing up was those D. Brown Nike pumps, man. I told you about those the other day.
1992.
Had to get those back in the old 7th grade.
I had the Dr. J Converse, the white and the red.
Okay, you guys are
Sneakers
doing
trending
it bad.
today. Dr. J Converse. I can see Maz out there with his
And-
shorts all
hey.
hyped up. Maz,
Hey, with goggles.
Maz,
With goggles.
shorts all hyped up.
Hey, Ryan, with the goggles and the headband.
Right. He's got
And wristbands.
He's got some sack coming out the right side. You know, he's got.
And before that, of course, the Clydes.
We're 7 minutes into the show and we already talking about sack.
It's the Puma Clydes before that.
Ooh, that's nice.
Poor
Those Puma
guy.
Clydes are nice.
All right, hey, we've got.
Shut up,
this-
Sack.
We'll get into some sports talk now. Damien Woody coming up at 2:24.
A lot of stuff to ask him, too.
There is,
Yeah.
including the latest with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson trending as well today, guys,
still in the
because
NFL?
he is still in the NFL. It's an intriguing piece of news because Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson has been evaluating potential teams to play for in 2022. And one team, I'm just saying, please, no Jesus. One of those teams is the Minnesota Vikings. The other, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine for
No.
1 second?
Just stop.
You
No.
finally get Aaron Rodgers out of the division, and then you bring in a guy who would dominate for the next 10 years as well.
It's tough. And then you look at the situation that they're in. Look how young that offense would be with Dalvin Cook, Deshaun Watson, Adam Thielen, and oh, by the way, Mr. Gritty himself,
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. I want no part of that situation. Please stay your butt down there in Florida with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, and that's obviously where you hope he'd go. And Maz, I mean, this is all assuming he's able to play.
Hey, he still might go to the Dolphins. Remember, that was the original team. Not anymore because Brian Flores
Right.
is not a part of that. But I'll tell you, man, I would not mind seeing him with the Minnesota Vikings.
What? Give me a percentage on this. Just ballpark it for me. Deshaun Watson, a starting quarterback in 2022, is
80%.
80%. You've got it at.
He's going to miss a few games.
Definitely that.
Maybe
I give
half
you
a
that.
season.
You know what? I was actually going to go a lot lower. I was going to go on the 35, 40% spectrum. But the fact that you threw it out there, they're publicly announcing that he's shopping teams.
Yeah.
And you know he's going to miss 3, which he missed 17 last year, so that should count. I think I got to go with Maz. It's got to be somewhere around that 70 and 80 mark. I agree with Maz on that.
I go 50-50. And
Everything is 50.
Yeah, I know.
You can't keep a man off his business. You can't.
Well, they've
Yeah.
got to have some sort of ruling on him.
Of
They
course.
can't sit him out. I mean,
Right.
you're either going to have to force yourself to allow him to play or come up with a decision on him in terms of a suspension. And how do you suspend a guy based on an allegation alone? Do you know how many people are levied allegations against? This is
Yeah.
just an allegation. Deshaun Watson has never been arrested, to the best of my knowledge.
No, he
for
has not.
anything.
No.
Has not.
This is allegations and lawsuits solo right now.
Very interesting timing, too, with the allegations. Right as Deshaun Watson wasn't happy with the organization, decided, hey, you know what? I would like to ask for a trade. You got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. The organization, I see where it's going. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, these things come out.
By the way,
I want to be very clear on this, though. I want to be very clear. I'm just not saying that I condone or anything like that some of the allegations that we're hearing about Deshaun. Very serious allegations that we're hearing in regards to Deshaun Watson. But nothing's been proven, and there's been no arrest or anything like that. And the NFL hasn't said anything either. So until that day comes, I think the assumption has to be that business as usual until some sort of fine or punishment or suspension is levied upon him.
Look what happened in baseball already. Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer.
He's not gonna have anything against him as far as
I think the league said they will do some type of punishment.
Yeah, the league will now look into the allegations, but he will not have anything against him. No, what's the word I'm looking for?
No legal indictment or anything like that?
Yeah, there's nothing against him. He's like a free man.
What is the league's responsibility there once the law says you're clear?
I think once the law says you're clear, then it gets to civil court, and you see what happens in civil court. But like the way I've always understood it, if the law said it's clear, the legal says it's clear, then it should be good. It should be business as usual. Until you do something like a civil war. I mean, a civil war. Jesus Christ. I don't want to know.
We're going there soon.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. Jesus Christ.
But we'll laugh in the meantime.
Agreed. Civil suit. Like something around civil suit. Because NFL does punish, I think, the conduct code type deal. Yeah. And if you lose in civil court, then they look at it as you did something wrong that you felt the need to settle, so they'll punish accordingly.
Man, Deshaun Watson, he's going to make some team real happy because he will eventually.
He's going to be pissed.
He will eventually, Maz, as you said, whether it's 4 games, a half a season, 1 season, he will play in the NFL again. And when he does, look out.
I want him here.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Here's the best thing about that, too. Deshaun Watson was one of the most sacked quarterbacks over his first 4 years in the NFL. You talk about the man had a whole year off. He didn't get hit for 365-plus days. Now he's ready. He's fresh. He's healthy. Oh, my God. Look out.
Look out for Deshaun Watson, no doubt about that. Hey, gang, if you're watching on YouTube, we certainly appreciate it. Incredible participation over the last couple of weeks, specifically the last couple of days. Incredible. You guys hitting that like button for us. Please do so. Over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. And, of course, you hit that like button for us, and it helps YouTube push our content out. And that's good for everybody involved. So thank you guys so much for that. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. We've got Damien Woody, Braylon's former teammate with the New York Jets, coming up, former Detroit Lion as well, member of ESPN's NFL Insiders, if you will. He's got a lot going on, man, Damien Woody.
Does a hell of a job.
That's right. We'll talk to him in about 10 minutes. Also, I want to get to some Detroit Lions Super Bowl odds next year.
What are those looking like?
They're not looking good, but
Cincinnati's couldn't have been looking that good last year.
75-1 to win the AFC last year. 75-1.
Lions are a little higher.
They are. Okay. We'll have that for you next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, bottom line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
He does.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. What's foaling? It's easy. It's throwing a football at bowling pins. Yep, but you got to really heave it. You could throw your arm out like I did, or you could win it like Ryan and Braylon did. They won it in our team event. Mm-hmm. Don't forget, you got to ask for the inventor when you walk in. His name is Chris Hutt. His wife, Noni. Great host in Hamtramck there at the Foaling Warehouse. Couple ways to play this game. $10 unlimited open play. You can go when they open. You got to leave when they close. Also, you can have a private lane reservation. Up to 10 people on a lane for $120. You can rent it for $2. hours. Don't forget to get your full on because they got lots to do there. Over 100 beers, the $2 mystery beer machine, and, of course, full multiple bars are available. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. Go to the Folding Warehouse. Get your full on. FoldingWarehouse.com.
Welcome back. All challenges in folding. All challenges.
We will. We are the champs of folding. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line, Woodward Sports Network. Guys, before we get to the Lions' chances of winning the Super Bowl next year, I do have to make mention of some breaking news that just came across. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure this is good news.
What happened?
For the Detroit Lions. Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers and Shailene Woodley have called off their engagement and have broken up.
I knew it.
Shoot.
Not good for the Detroit Lions. Do you know why?
That's why he was going to Tennessee.
That's why he sold that house.
Yeah.
I know why.
I think that's not good for the Detroit Lions because I kind of have a feeling that means he's playing for the Green Bay Packers next year.
It's one of those things where
if they can afford him.
I really want to know what happened in that relationship. Not today. I don't care. But I want to find out what happened because we all said we know where he has to stay in order to win. You can't jump in that AFC with how tight that AFC is right now. And the fact that he's not going to that AFC.
Here's some of the quotes. It was an amicable split. It just wasn't working. They're very different people with busy careers. And there were obstacles that they could not surmount. Aaron Rodgers is a big-time Republican. Shailene Woodley is a big-time Democrat.
New Democrat.
I think that is just – look, when you talk about obstacles that they could not surmount, in 2022, I just don't think you can be that opposite and come together. I mean, I think there's the 60% of us in the middle, and if you were there, I think so. But when you're in these camps, it's not going to work. And I do think that it spells bad news for the Detroit Lions because I think he does go back to Green Bay now.
I knew it was over because he shows up last Thursday. They had something called the NFL Honors,
in which he announced their engagement.
But he showed up by himself.
In a corduroy suit.
Exactly. Who shows up with the Pulp Fiction John Travolta dude in a corduroy suit as he's en route to winning his four MVP trophies? I was like, something's not right.
I knew it wasn't going when he was selling his house in California and buying a house in Nashville,
Tennessee.
Where's she not going in Nashville?
Nashville's a great up-and-coming city, though. I mean,
it's
there's
terrific.
a lot. I mean, you ever been to Nashville?
Oh, God, yeah. I have family there.
Jake Long lives in Nashville now. Like, he's settled down in Nashville. It's a beautiful place.
It is.
Incredible. So there's those thoughts. So now we get to the Lions Super Bowl odds for next year, which probably just got worse they're worse than they were 3 minutes ago.
Green Bay, I don't know if they can afford him, right?
Well, here's the deal about Green Bay. I don't think they can afford him and
Devontae
Adams.
Then it ain't going to work.
And I don't know if Devontae Adams is going back to Green Bay. Derek Carr is restructuring his contract so that he can get his best friend, Devontae Adams. They play together at Fresno State in college. So I think if you're Devontae Adams, where is your allegiance? It's got to be to your family and that money, right?
But see, it's tricky when you say to his pocket. It has to be to him and his family, like you said. When you word it that way, I mean, money is a part of it, but I would like to say the family side, although it involves the money. You've played, you've done it, you've done your job, you've become the best wide receiver in football. Like, you've taken your time to get there. You're the best wide receiver in football. You're very consistent. Everyone knows that Aaron needs you, Aaron's, et cetera. Last year, they could have paid him. And I'm pretty sure they told him last year, hey, we're going to be all in. We need to get Aaron back, get some other pieces paid. Can you give us a year? And he's a team guy, loves Aaron. Say, all right, cool, whatever number 12 needs, whatever you guys need.
Don't franchise me.
Don't franchise me. And here we are at that juncture. If they don't franchise him, I would say, you know what, Green Bay, job well done. He has to go somewhere else because now, if he stays and gets franchises, what happens if you get injured?
Listen, I believe that he's finished with Green Bay.
Yeah.
I've read enough. I've listened to enough. They just don't have the money. I think they're going to make it look good. Yeah, who wouldn't want him?
Yeah.
Of course they want him, but I think it's going to be amicable. I think he's going to get dealt. I think they're going to start looking to the future. They're $50 million in the hole. They get a couple first-round picks, get that money off the books, and Devontae Adams goes out west, either with the Raiders or the Chargers. That's my pick.
In a salary cap game, Maz, how much can you do to pay everybody? You know, I mean, to pay Devontae
There's
Adams.
ways.
There is ways like franchising
You know who does
Devontae
it, right?
Adams,
The
but I don't like
Patriots
that.
did it
I
for
don't like
years.
that idea. I don't like that
Yeah.
idea. You know, I don't like the idea of franchising Devontae Adams. You're basically messing with that guy's future.
Yeah, if he gets hurt, it's over.
And that's a big if.
There's ways to delay money because actually, you know, Tom Brady did something last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers where he did something along the lines of his salary for 2021 is being paid basically over 2021 and 2022 season. So he's getting paid next year from the Buccaneers. So there's always ways, little sneaky ways to kind of snake around that mountain. But it's only so much you can snake around the mountain when a guy is about to be paid $30 million a year. It's only so much sneaking you can do.
Hey, going back to the Deshaun Watson real quick, if he does choose the Tampa Bay Bucks, I mean, you're talking about Tom Brady and Deshaun Watson. I mean, the sun.
I don't see him picking that team.
But I'm just saying, the sun can't shine on the Detroit
Yeah.
Lions once to have a good
Tampa,
quarterback.
yeah,
Well, I
twice.
mean, good quarterback. I guess we had Matthew Stafford for 12 years, but
Oops.
Oops.
Too
He
soon.
couldn't win a big one.
Too soon.
Oops.
What was his record against winning teams?
Don't do that, man.
I'm
Don't
joking.
do that.
Yeah.
What's the Lions' record against
Yeah, I
winning
know.
teams
I'm
over the past
joking.
70 years?
You know I'm a
Sick.
Stafford guy.
Oh, my
Nah, this
God.
is true.
Hey, let's throw up the odds for the 2023 Super Bowl, which is February 12th, 2023. The Lions are not last. The Houston Texans, 500 to 1 to win the Super Bowl next year, but the Lions are the second to worst team in that odd, 200 to 1. So you bet $1, you win 200 if the Lions win the Super Bowl. Buffalo, the odds-on favorite to win next year's Super Bowl, and then Kansas City and the LA Rams 8 to 1. I don't like the LA Rams, to be honest with you. Like we mentioned yesterday, only 4 times since 1980 has a team repeated as Super Bowl champs. You're talking about the Denver Broncos, the San Francisco 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New England Patriots. I don't feel like the Rams are one of those elite teams.
If
like
you force
that.
me to put all my money right now on one team,
Buffalo,
it's the Bills.
yeah.
Not to mention, I mean, you're more so looking at the situation with the Rams, what they potentially might lose. They may lose their their coach, and Sean McVay. You might lose their a couple other players. Aaron Donald might think about retiring. That's something that's big right now. You think about Odell Beckham. Is he going to be a Robert Woods? A lot to think about.
No doubt about that. Hey, guys, we got Damien Woody on the line, so I want to get to a break. 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Damien Woody, former Detroit Lion, ESPN, Braylon's teammate with the Jets.
Big brother.
Tom Brady's teammate. I'm going to ask him, who's the better teammate? Braylon Edwards, Tom Brady.
Oh, man, hands down. Hands down. I'm not going to say anything, though.
All right. We'll be back with Damien Woody next. Ermanni and Edwards.
World Sports Network on a 50-degree Wednesday, feeling
50.
good. The bottom line.
We'll be paying for this.
Yeah, we will. Friday, 25 degrees. Book it.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
And a miraculous catch.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
SMA has been leveraging relationships and notables with athletes for the last 10 years, over a decade actually, as it relates to the issues of mental health as well as substance abuse disorder. Sean Jordan, former alumni of the NFL, has been working diligently with guys such as myself, Devin Gardner, Lomas Brown, Michael Ealy, famed actor, getting on the ground, man, ground for boots on the ground, dealing with these issues, providing normalcy, providing destigmatization. Gotta love the work that Sean is doing. Gotta love the work that Sports Marketing Agency has been doing. And now they have teamed up with us, Woodward Sports Network, to create a podcast called This is the F Word. The F Word is for fentanyl. Gotta get people the help they need. If you know someone that is struggling, please feel free to call or feel free to go to the website, which is thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com. Go there. We are here to help you always.
Guys, we're really excited about this. Let's bring him in. ESPN commentator now, but of course, longtime NFL with the Patriots, the Jets, the Lions. Damien Woody. Damien, how you doing, buddy?
The Wood Man.
I'm good. Damien. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Now, Damien, I have to ask you. Braylon talks about this epic barbecue back in 2010. Do you remember anything about that barbecue of 2010?
Man, I've had a lot of things happen since then, so maybe Braylon can fill me in and spark some memories about it.
2010, right before the season started. I think this would have been what is Labor Day? Labor Day is one right before the season starts. And I had the barbecue. I was DJing. I was on the ones and twos. I had my uncle cook.
Yes,
and you
okay,
showed
yes.
up. And you showed up in the classic old school muscle vehicle. I was like, oh, damn, he's showing out today. He's showing out today. But he came through and supported.
Okay,
Got it.
All you had to do was mention that you were DJing, and it sparked me. Yes, I did show up with a classic vehicle, 69 Chevelle
Blue
SS convertible, blue. Yeah, I called it Bluebell because it blue with the white racing stripes on it. So. Nice. Oh yeah, that's definitely
that thing was mean. That thing was mean.
Well, Damien, we certainly appreciate the time, my friend. First question I want to ask you. Look, you have a perspective that not too many people have in the business. You played for this Lions organization. Matthew Stafford, the quarterback here for 12 years. He hadn't been able to get anything done, and then all of a sudden, 1 year since leaving Detroit, wins the Super Bowl. How would you characterize his time in Detroit and then again winning the Super Bowl 1 year removed?
Well, listen, I mean, everyone knows the situation with the Lions. They're in a rebuild. It seemed like they've been rebuilding for a long time, and hopefully my former teammate and buddy Dan Campbell gets that thing turned around with the Lions organization. But Matthew Stafford being the good soldier that he is, spent 12 years in Detroit and really did a lot of fantastic things, not only for the organization, but, for the community as well. And I thought the Lions did right by him and facilitating a trade to the Los Angeles Rams. And obviously with the Rams organization, it's a different scenario than the Lions. This team was basically all in, pushed all their chips to the table, made trades to fortify their team, and ultimately led them to winning the Super Bowl this year. So, listen, my hat's off to Matthew Stafford. This guy, he's put up some big-time numbers throughout his career in Detroit, and for him to be able to have this type of run in the postseason that culminated in a Super Bowl title, that's big time for his resume.
That's one thing you got to appreciate about D. Wood. He will always call it down the line, down the middle, and I appreciate that. You brought up being respected by the organization, which Matt Stafford was. That's how he was able to get to L.A. as opposed to Carolina or a couple other these moves in those places. Sounds like Von Miller. Sounds like the same thing the Broncos did with Von Miller, moving him out there, play right next to Aaron Donald. Got to get to Aaron Donald in the Super Bowl. Is he not the most dominant defensive player that we've seen since Reggie White and LT?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I always said that, the more dominant you are close to the football, the more you impact the game. And we just haven't seen many guys like Aaron Donald. Maybe a guy like Warren Sapp, but Aaron Donald to me is just a force of nature, causing so much havoc up the middle of the defense. And, I agree with you, Braylon. You definitely made the case. He's the most dominant defensive player that I've seen since Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White. Those guys kind of transcended the game. And when we look back at Aaron Donald's career, when it's all said and done, I think it's going to be a kind of a similar sentiment about Aaron Donald and the impact he's had on the game of football.
Quick question. Was it a snub? Is Super Bowl MVP? Did he get snubbed? Or are you okay with Cooper Kupp getting MVP? Oh, thank God. I'm glad it's
absolutely.
not just me.
Aaron Donald should have been the Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Donald was a one-man wrecking crew on the defense line. You saw the Cincinnati Bengals were paying to Aaron Donald, and then once the Los Angeles Rams made adjustments to get him more freed up one-on-one, you saw the impact, especially in the second half of the football game. So there's no slight to Cooper Kupp, who had a fantastic season and had that one drive where he was spectacular. But I think overall, as far as the game is concerned, Aaron Donald should have been the MVP.
Talking to Damien Woody, Braylon's former teammate with the New York Jets, also a member of the Detroit Lions, New England Patriots, now of ESPN. Damien, I want to stick with the Rams for a second. So much talk now. There's so many rumors, Super Bowl week. Will Sean McVay go to the booth? Will Aaron Donald retire? So many questions regarding the LA Rams right now. Where do you see this team next year?
Listen, they're still going to be one of the most competitive teams in the National Football League, particularly in the NFC. Because when I look at the NFC, outside of the Cowboys, where are the other teams? Yeah, the San Francisco 49ers, they're a talented team. Jimmy G is going to probably get traded, which is going to turn into the Trey Lance show. But Aaron Rodgers is a big question mark. Will he be back in Green Bay? Will he be traded to another team? Particularly in the AFC. I think there's a lot of questions in the NFC conference, and the Los Angeles Rams is going to be one of the top teams in the mix.
Damien, I wanted to ask you about your teammate for a long time and the GOAT, Tom Brady, playing with him and winning those Super Bowls with him, and Adam Vinatieri, I might add. Do you think he is done, or do you think he is coming back? Because they got odds on him to be MVP next year. He's 45-1 to win an MVP, and he's retired. What's your take?
Yeah, well, listen. First of all, I thought he should have won MVP this year.
Yes,
considering he's 44 and the numbers that he put up this year. If I had a vote, he would have been my MVP. But listen, I've wavered, on this topic. But I truly do believe Tom Brady is going to stay retired. I think when you look at 22 years in its totality, 22 years, and all the things that he's accomplished, going to the Super Bowl 10 times, winning it 7. It would just be hard for me to imagine for him making this announcement and then all of a sudden backtracking, considering the fact that, a big part of the decision was the fact that his family was involved. And I know his wife, Giselle, has been tugging on that cape for a couple of years now, trying to get him out of the game. And I think she finally won it over this time around. So I don't see him backtracking and coming back and playing football.
When I was watching that comeback against the Rams as they were imploding, it wasn't Matthew Stafford's fault, by the way, but they were imploding. And had they not gotten that pass to Cooper Kupp and gotten in field goal range, they would have lost in overtime. But when I saw Brady, he looked sad, even though they tied the game. And I said to myself, here's a guy that's probably going to be forced to retire. He don't want to retire. He does not want to retire. But I want to ask you a Jets question. I'm a Jets guy.
Yes.
What did the Jets? How did they not get to the Super Bowl those years that Braylon and you guys were there?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Come on, man. Talk to me.
Schottenheimer.
Talk to me, Damien.
You don't even have to say it. I say it for
you. Well, listen, man. I think, I tell Jet fans all the time, man, obviously I won 2 Super Bowls in New England, but those 2 AFC Championship game losses, they stick with you. They're devastating losses, and I feel like we should have been in the Super Bowl both times.
Yes.
And man, the first time, we had some, Sean Green got hurt. I tell a lot of people all the time, Thomas Jones, excuse me.
Great president.
Had a fantastic year that year. He rushed for over 1,400 yards, but we ran him into the ground. Literally, we ran him into the ground. He had so many carries, and then Sean Green picked up the slack, and then Sean Green gets hurt in that AFC Championship game against the Colts, and we just couldn't do anything. We just didn't have enough offensively, and our defense was at the mercy of Peyton Manning, and then we couldn't overcome that. And then the following year, man, the play calling was a little suspect. I'm just putting that lightly.
You think?
And then, and honestly, we ran out of time. We ran out of time because we were making a hell of a comeback. All the momentum was on our side. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they couldn't stop us, but we ran up against the clock, and that was the difference between the Jets going to the Super Bowl and the Pittsburgh Steelers moving on. So those 2 losses, man, they just stick with you.
Well, I got a quick one before Ryan has another question. That first AFC Championship when we played against Peyton Manning at Lucas Oil, I think the first playoffs they had at Lucas Oil. The thing that stuck out in my mind, we get the interception right before the half, and they play for the field goal. We play for the field goal, And then Jay Feely, Michigan guy, my boy, your boy, he missed the field goal. So we don't even get the 3 points. Peyton Manning, the sheriff, 33 seconds goes down there, hits a touchdown. So we go into the half only up 3 as opposed to being up 10 or being up 6. We were so dejected as a team. Not all of us, not you, not me, but there were some people I don't have to call out. We looked like we were losing, and we were getting the ball back. Like, that's when I knew we were in trouble, is that halftime locker room feel. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, you wanted me to say Mark Sanchez or no?
Nah, it wasn't. To be honest, it wasn't even Mark though. It wasn't even Mark.
That's good. Hey, Damien, I wanted to ask you because I'm really into this Man in the Arena on ESPN Plus right now, and this Tom Brady episode 9. I'm watching last night, and there's a clip of you in there that you say, and I want to get this right. You mentioned that playing for the Patriots was like playing in a dark tunnel the whole year. Julian Edelman then follows it up saying how Bill Belichick was a really hard guy to play for. The better you were, the more popular you were, the more he'd slam you. So I bring those 2 points up to ask you, does that experience, is that Bill Belichick tree, that Bill Belichick coaching tree, is that the reason why so many of those guys don't work elsewhere? Like a Matt Patricia here in Detroit that we had to suffer for, that I feel set the franchise back 7 years.
10 years.
10 years.
200.
You know, listen, Bill. I've said to many people, Bill Belichick is a genius, a football savant. He's the smartest coach I've ever been around. And I think what happens a lot of times with his disciples, they try to be something that they're not. You're not Bill Belichick. You can only be yourself. Can you take aspects away from the Patriots and try to implement it? Absolutely. But so many times, guys come out of that tree and they just try to be Bill Belichick, and it flops. You just can't do it. And so, you know, there's been a couple of guys that have come out of there. I think Brian Flores has done a terrific job of turnaround the Miami Dolphins, and Bill O'Brien had some success down with the Houston Texans as far as getting to the playoffs. But for the most part, those guys, to me, just try too much to be like Coach Belichick instead of being like themselves. Because Braylon would tell you this: you can't fool the players. You cannot fool the players. If you try to be something that you're not, that's the easiest way to lose a team. And I think just too many guys try to be something that they're not.
Do you think that Josh McDaniels, second time around now, has learned that?
You know what? Time will tell, but I do think that it's a learning lesson. I think he can take what he did in Denver and say, you know what? These are the things that I did wrong. These are things that I need to correct. And he's getting a great opportunity with the Las Vegas Raiders, because this is not out there in Vegas, it's not a rebuild. This is a team that was in the postseason, lost in the wild card round to the Cincinnati Bengals. They got a quarterback. So there's a lot for him to work with, out in Las Vegas. His biggest thing, just be himself. Be Josh McDaniels. Don't try to bring the whole Patriots way out to Las Vegas.
Hey, D, I know you got to go. We got 2 quick questions for you, man. We're going to let you get back to your Wednesday. Maz, go ahead.
Is Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer?
No, he's not. I mean, listen, I think Matthew Stafford has Hall of Fame talent. There's been no question about his arm talent, his ability. But I think he has a whole career with the Los Angeles Rams to kind of build on everything. I think here's what we get caught up. Everyone points to the stats. Okay, the passing yards, all these different stats that's accumulated. We're also in an era of like fantasy football, where all these quarterbacks coming in to a pass-heavy league are accumulating these stats. So I just think that Matthew Stafford has some work to do, and I don't put him in the Hall of Fame right now. It's not the Hall of Good. It's not the Hall of Very Good. It's a Hall of Fame for a reason.
Excellent.
I appreciate it. I got stuck. The point was so good. I forgot my question. All right, here we go. Last one, big fella. Who are your top 3 favorite O-linemen to watch right now? Because I watched the show on ESPN. I love when you smash the hammers. I love when you say, guys getting after it. Who are your top 3 O-linemen to watch right now in the NFL?
Right now, I would say the number 1 guy is Trent Williams, the left tackle from the 49ers. That dude is – I love watching him, man, because big dude that's an athlete that can move, that's nasty. Love it. Another guy is Quentin Nelson from the inside of his game. Love how he goes about his business. And then the third guy, that's a good one, man. The third guy.
Panay Sewell.
It's the same guy.
I want to say, listen, I'm going to tell you what. That dude had a really good season, man. That dude had a really good season considering the fact that he got moved from one side to the other, and then he got settled in. I think Detroit got a real keeper. He's going to be an All-Pro not in the short distance, short future, whatever. But I'm going to say my last lineman. There's the kid out of Tampa Bay, Tristan Wirfs.
Oh, Tristan
yeah,
Wirfs.
he's real nice. Yep.
He is really good. And you saw in the playoff game when he was hurt, that made a big difference. And how the Rams got after Tom Brady in that game.
Hey,
Matt
Damon.
Stafford should probably he should thank Tristan Wirfs getting injured, because if he don't get injured, I don't know if Stafford has a ring right now.
Damien Woody, we certainly appreciate your time. Can't thank you enough,
Thanks,
man. Really great to chat with you here in Detroit.
Definitely, man.
Guys, I appreciate you having me on. Braylon, man, miss you, my dude. Miss you.
Man, I swear to
You
God.
always been
My Chatham
guy.
brother.
And yeah, absolutely, man. And love to be back on you guys sometime soon.
Amen to that.
Hey, bring Bluebell here when we have the Woodward Dream Cruise.
You know what? I would definitely do that. But
All
when
right.
the weather's nice, bring it up is nice.
Oh, yeah. It's an
It's
honor.
50 degrees today.
Damien Woody, 12-year NFL vet, now of ESPN. Follow him on Twitter at Damien Woody. Thanks so much, my friend.
Appreciate
we'll talk
you,
to you soon.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome conversation with Damien Woody right there. And again, just some great stuff. Answered your question bluntly. I do want to stick with that.
That's
if
the
we
best
could,
answer I've heard. That's the best way I've ever heard it put.
Because Kelly Stafford responded to this Hall of Fame talk.
And she was good.
We love Kelly.
She was terrific.
Absolutely. We'll tell you about that next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, bottom line.
Everything that we've hoped for finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, it's Woodward Sports. It's not Tom Mazawey for Planet Fitness. It's Woodward Sports because Planet Fitness is our studio sponsor, the home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Just like Terry Foster walks around with those 2-pound weights and no one says a thing to him.
I saw him earlier.
Just $10 a month and a black card, $22.99 a month. Black card members, you get to enjoy amenities such as hydro massage, unlimited tanning, massage chairs, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,000 locations worldwide. And best yet, you get to bring unlimited guests with you. That's right. It's like a 2-for-1 deal, only for $22.99. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month, Planet Fitness.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports Network. If you're watching on YouTube, we certainly appreciate it. Smash that like button. Let's get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment if we could. We'd certainly appreciate that. Damien Woody was fantastic.
Oh, my God.
Guys, one of the things that he said, Braylon, was, as blunt as you can, is Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer? No.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because I think everybody right now, they get caught up in the Matthew Stafford story and how he was done wrong 12 years, and I appreciate it in Detroit. He goes out there, he wins a ring. You're able to see what he can do. It's on full display for 17 games, not to mention 4 games in the playoffs. And he wins the ring. It's like, oh, man, you see 14 touchdowns, no interceptions in the fourth quarter. You win the fourth quarter. You have a game-winning drive with Cooper Kupp. You have all these things go on. He's a Hall of Famer. Look at all the numbers. And when people say no, he's not a Hall of Famer, everybody who's a Matt Stafford fan immediately is like, oh, what do you mean he's not a Hall of Famer? Oh, this isn't fair and blah, blah, blah. We're not saying he hasn't done a great job. We're not saying that he doesn't have the stats, the numbers. What we're saying is he hasn't fully proven himself to be a Hall of Famer. Like right now in this day and age, he would probably get in the Hall of Fame with these numbers and this one ring. Let's call it honest. He would probably get in. Is he deserving to get in right exactly now? No. But he has a lot of career left. Like, this is a pass-happy league, so you can't necessarily pay attention to the numbers versus the output.
Can I say something real quick?
Oh, please.
Sunday night, I put on ESPN after the game, and Chris Boomer Berman's there, Booger McFarland, and Steve Young.
Booger. What a great name, Booger.
Steve Young. Is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? Does he have a gold jacket? Yes. Well, he introduced Matthew Stafford as future Hall of Famer Matthew Stafford. Put this man in the Hall of Fame. That's from Steve Young.
That's respect.
But
that's all I got to say.
That's respect, and it's also trending. Like, he's introducing a guy that just won a Super Bowl. It makes him look good to say that, yes, like, he's going to get into the NFL. I mean, he's going to get in the Hall of Fame at some point. But you see guys do that all the time. It's right away. It's right now. You don't necessarily have time to think about it and break it down. It's like, hey, introducing future Hall of Famer. And future Hall of Famer doesn't mean he's in the Hall right now. It means Matt Stafford's 34 years old and still has 5 years left or 6 years left. So in the future, he will be in the Hall.
So there's the point right there. And say what you want about Kelly Stafford. I think
she's great.
I think she's great. I have no problem when she's making her husband's life miserable in the public and with the fans and all that stuff.
The hot dog throw.
I could do with it without that.
Guess what? She's his mouthpiece.
And has been, but she too was a young person who is now maturing a little bit. She got in on this debate, and I think this says it all. Can y'all just let him enjoy this, please? It went from Matthew can't win to Matthew can't win against good winning teams to Matthew can't win big games to Matthew can't win playoff games to Matthew can't win at all to Matthew's not a Hall of Famer.
That's real. That's real.
Seriously, in 1 year, can everybody just kind of take a break? He's not even retiring. He's nowhere close to retiring. He's got at least 4 to 5 more good years.
Yeah.
Not just years in the league, 4 to 5 more good years.
Unless he gets on that TB12 program.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe there's no stopping him. Maybe he can play another 8 to 10 years. I mean, you just have no idea. So let's take a pause with the Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame talk. He's not done yet.
And that's essentially what I said yesterday or the other day. I said, can we stop all the talk and just let the man play? I really appreciate that from a wife, especially a husband that doesn't like to talk, doesn't like to rub anybody the wrong way, doesn't like to talk about himself. For her to mature and have that kind of conversation, for her to say those things, it makes anyone that's an a-hole out there take a step back and say, you know what, his wife is correct. And she's not even his wife anymore. She's Kelly Stafford. She has her own personality. She's right. You just never let him breathe. It's like after one thing, there's the next. Sometimes you got to let people breathe. And I think if winning a Super Bowl won't let you breathe, when the hell can you breathe?
Do you blame her?
No.
As a human being? Let's face it. We do this business, and there are people that tweet. There are people that go on these boards.
Terrible.
And they talk crap about you, like they know you. Can you imagine if your wives or girlfriends read the crap that's out there? That's what she had to deal with his whole career here in Detroit. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. He stinks. He's the fault. There's no way the Lions are the fault. It's his fault. Do you blame her for soaking it in this year? I don't.
That's why I married somebody that has no clue the first thing about
Did she even watch the Super Bowl, Nicole?
She's like, is the halftime show on yet? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. But I will tell you, I do believe the Hall of Fame argument is a total sports talk radio creation. It's the dumbest argument in the world because what other player do we talk about in terms of Hall of Fame kind of in the middle of his career?
Only one. And that was Eli Manning. He's the only other one that I've seen people ask the question. And to the point, not like Stafford, but he's the only one I've seen people ask that question about when he still had 4 or 5 years left in his playing ability. Outside of that, they don't do it.
It's a non-story. I don't know why people insist on talking about it, but gives us something to talk about, I guess. Speaking of Matthew Stafford, guys, I do have – it's a hypothetical, but I think it's possible. If Matthew Stafford does want to be a Hall of Famer, there's one way he can do that, surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. I'll tell you how that is next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, I cannot wait to hear what this is at the bottom line.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports. Comerica Park. Sunshine. The crack of the bat. More sunshine. Warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward Sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Fellas, it's game day every single day. That's right. Don't you want to look good, feel good? Well, if you want to do that,
I do.
Absolutely, Braylon. Walk into any one of the several Lady Jane's locations throughout Metro Detroit, several more around the country. That's right. Handsome and clean. Ooh-wee. Just walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you're looking real good. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. If Matthew Stafford wants to be a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, there is one way to do that.
What is that?
Right now.
Tell me.
Win back-to-back?
After the 2023 season, Matthew Stafford is an unrestricted free agent.
Oh, I got it.
The Detroit Lions need to do everything they need to do right now to build up the team around them. They've got 3 of the top 34 picks in this draft.
Right.
5 of the top 100 players in this draft. Next year, they will have 2 first-round picks, and you know what else they will have? Cap space.
Ooh.
Sign number 9 in 2023. Matthew Stafford, you want to be a surefire Hall of Famer? Go ahead and win a Super Bowl here in Detroit.
Woo.
Boom!
Should the Detroit sports teams double down and do it with somebody else that same year?
Justin Verlander
There it
is a
is.
free agent at the end of next season.
There it is.
The Detroit Tigers are ready made for a World Series
Javi
run.
Baez, Tucker Bernhardt.
You want to be, add to his surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah. Justin Verlander signed with the Detroit Tigers in 2023. I don't think
That's
that
not
is
far-fetched.
super far-fetched. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. That is a quarterback. The Rams they're going to try to run it back this year, okay?
Yeah.
And they're going to be unsuccessful. And then that team's going to fall apart. Stafford, an unrestricted free agent, comes back to Detroit. You want to write a Hollywood script? Come back and do it here in Detroit, number 9.
What do they say? Say if you love something, let it go and see if it comes back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They let him go. He went and won his chip, potentially 2, although you say no, potentially 2. Come back, it's perfect because the team is set up and the way the draft is set up, nobody knows about this Malik Willis situation. You don't know about Kenny Pickett's situation. You don't know about Matt Corral or Sam Howell. You know about none of that. I mean, you know that everybody's trying to make them first rounders where some of them may not be. It's perfectly set up for them not to draft a quarterback, get maybe a backup quarterback, maybe get a guy that can challenge Jared Goff, just like Brad Holmes said down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. Then next year, you won't even be in position to get a quarterback, which means, hey, number 9, you're available for business. Hey, man,
Hey.
I've seen crazier things happen. I mean, LeBron did it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, then there's Lions luck. He comes back, and they lose the first round of playoffs.
No, come on. Don't be ridiculous.
Hey,
Why are you being a jerk?
I'm not being a jerk.
You're being a jerk.
I'm just a Lions fan.
Yeah.
I think most Lions fans are jerks. but they have been conditioned to be that way.
So doesn't it feel, though, a little bit like this, that the LA Rams are in a situation where, because I do believe they're in for a big fall, I don't think you can sustain any bit of success. Look, they haven't had a first-round pick since 2016.
And won't have one till 2018, I believe.
2025, I think.
2025?
They don't have a first, second, third, or fourth round pick this year. They gave picks away.
2020. Oh yeah, you're right.
They gave picks to the Denver Broncos. They gave the 2023 pickup. I mean, I legitimately think they don't have a pick until 2024, 2025.
That's what I meant. 2024. I don't know where my math was at.
So, how do you maintain that level of success? It's real hard to do that. So, there's a couple of things with Stafford. I don't think he finishes his career with the LA Rams.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to want to re-sign with a franchise that doesn't have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Now, you might be like, well, then why would he come back to Detroit? Joke's on me, but
no, but that makes sense though. You said something yesterday that struck a nerve with me. You said Matt Stafford's not this LA guy. Matt Stafford's not this Hollywood guy that's going out there for the life, the glitz, the glamour. Like, yes, that's what comes with LA. That doesn't mean you have to partake in it. Matthew went out there for a better opportunity to win games, a better opportunity to get a chance to go to the Super Bowl. He's done that now. He's done that. Matt Stafford is not a guy that's going out partying and hanging and, all me, all this, all that. I don't think most of those guys on that team are like that, which is a funny concept. But I could definitely see after another year of this, it doesn't work out. He's like, man, you know what? I kind of miss Bloomfield Hills. Like, that was home. Like, I miss being in Birmingham. I miss being chill and being relaxed. Like, Kelly working with Beaumont Hospital. That was a big thing while she was here. It's home for them. It's been 12 years. When you come out of college and you're 21 and you're somewhere for 12 years, it's home.
That's where
I played in Cleveland. I came out at 22. I played 4.5 years. Cleveland was home for 4.5 years. And then I go to New York, 2 years. Then I'm in San Fran.
Where'd you live when you were in New York?
We live in New Jersey because practice facility is in Florham Park.
Sure.
So I stayed in Chatham.
Okay.
Chatham, New Jersey, right by Summit.
You know where that is, Maz?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, Maz.
That's my state.
It's Jersey.
Of course, you work in New York.
Is
you
it
live
next
in New
to
Jersey.
Satriali's?
Yeah. No, Satriali's a little down south from there.
But again, I don't think Matthew Stafford finishes his career with the Rams.
Give him you got to get him here at least to finish, so he can go in the Hall of Fame when he's done as a Lion.
He is a Texas guy, though. He is a Texas native. He was born a Texas native, so there's always a Texas angle.
Okay, right now, if he retires tomorrow, does he go in the Hall of Fame as a Lion or a Ram?
It's a Detroit Lion.
But he won a Super Bowl.
I understand that. But
all his success.
What about Justin Verlander?
That's a great question.
He
won a World Series and.
They go in. They give a lot of credit to the Astros. They give a lot of credit to the Rams. But they're going to be Lions and Tigers. Just look at the conversation that Kelly Stafford and Matt Stafford have had from the start of the playoffs until now. All they've talked about is the love from Detroit, the love they have for the city,
is cheap.
the love they have for the fans. No, not really, because you don't have to do that. Because if I would have got a Super Bowl with the Jets, I would have said SHIT about Cleveland. So talk isn't cheap. I would have said nothing about him. He didn't have to. He doesn't talk a lot. But they've been consistently showing love to Detroit. He's going in as a Lion.
If you're watching on YouTube, guys, thanks so much. We are approaching 100 likes. We'll get there in about 10 seconds, I bet. Thanks, everybody, so much. Incredible week so far. Damien Woody was on our show earlier today. That'll get posted as soon as we're done here at 4 o'clock.
Talked about Penei Sewell a little bit.
Absolutely. He did mention Penei Sewell. Did mention as well he does believe Tom Brady is done, despite the 45-1 odds to win the MVP next year.
I forgot to say this to him, and I apologize if he's still watching, Damien. I was watching ESPN, which isn't cheating. I was watching ESPN, and legitimately he was talking about the Tom Brady situation and retiring, and he talked about his own self when he tore his Achilles, and I was actually there. It happened with the Jets in 2010 when he tore his Achilles, and he came back in from the locker room. He came out, and he had that boot on. When he had on the boot, his family he knew exactly what the family was. The family was right there. They had brought him down so they could take a look. He's on crutches. He's on the boot. His wife looked at him. His kids looked at him. And he knew. He was like, yeah, it's a wrap. And his wife gave him that look like his wife's crying, but she gave him that stern look like, you better not try to run this back and get healthy. So your wife, she has that say when the time is the time. And that's why he understood that moment.
How about his feelings on the Jets? 2 losses.
Yeah.
I was there for both.
I would have to believe, though, that it's a little bit easier on a guy like Damien Woody than a guy like Braylon Edwards, because Woody essentially did get that Super Bowl taste with the Patriots. And, I mean, there's guys on that Jets
Thanks
team.
for reminding me.
Well, there's guys on that Jets team that didn't get to go on and win a Super Bowl.
Revis got close. I think Revis lost. Revis was in that Seattle game. The Seattle game, the infamous intercept. No, he did win.
Did Revis win with Tampa?
No, Revis won on time, but when they won, I feel like Revis didn't get it. Something happened. They lost one of those. Oh, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
Revis,
that's right.
He was on that team. Nick Foles lost.
No bueno. Hey, guys, we're going to talk to Ian O'Connor, New York Post sports columnist, 3-time New York Times best-selling author. Going to talk to him about this new book that I am fascinated with, Coach K, The Rise and Reign of Mike Krzyzewski. I'm really looking forward to this conversation because there's a lot of intricacies about this. And a guy we know well here, former Michigan head coach Tommy Amaker, now the coach of Harvard, longtime coach at Harvard. We'll get to him next. Top of hour number 2 when we return. 116 likes. Amazing. You guys rock, man. We'll try to get to 200 before the end of hour number 2. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
And a miraculous catch.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey guys, it's Maz from mybookie.ag, and don't forget that promo code Woodward. That's right. You use that promo code Woodward, you first-time gamblers, well, you're going to be in luck because they'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That is right, $1,000. That is your money, and it's free money. Put in $500, you get $500 additional dollars. Put in $100, you get an additional $100. You follow what I'm talking about. I have it right on my phone's interface. Easy to use. Very easy to use. Not only that, you can bet straight bets, NBA, NHL. Don't forget the All-Star game coming up this weekend. You got the golf outings. Those are great. And you got NASCAR this weekend, the Daytona 500. So get on board with mybookie.ag. That promo code is Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please call the Michigan Gambling Problem Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey along. Braylon, by the way, did you ever get through your bland Doritos?
First of all, they weren't bland.
I know.
But I definitely, I got left? I got a couple chips in there. I
did the old Cool Ranchers. At the top of the show today, we talked about what was trending today. And bland Doritos, hashtag bland Doritos was the #1 trending topic. So we got a bunch of Doritos for the show. Sam, did you get through your bag in there?
I did not. I'm going to eat it when I get home, honestly. Yeah.
Who's smart?
Well, Sam is a real fitness buff over here. You ever see this guy with his shirt off? Oh, man, beefcake over here. Real beefcake over here, this guy. Gorgeous.
When the Adidas picture, I saw him.
I was at the Undie Run this weekend. I actually ran it, so yeah.
You ran? How was that?
Very healthy.
It wasn't as bad as I thought in terms of the coldness. It was a really fun time. I really enjoyed it.
Very good. Alex, have you gotten through your Dorito bag? What kind of Doritos did you get?
I'm not trying to deal with the spice. That's why I'm trying to do a show, so I'm saving them for later.
That's why I was happy I got the spicy nacho. They have that little spice in them, but they're not too heavy.
That is interesting. Guys, we're going to have Ian O'Connor, New York Post sports columnist and, of course, 3-time New York Times best-selling author, wrote a book about Mike Krzyzewski in this transition of power to John Shire and all of the ways it went through. I am so captivated by this topic and some of the excerpts that I've read in this book. Let's bring him in now. Ian O'Connor, New York Post sports columnist, 3-time New York Times best-selling author, Coach K, The Rise and Reign of Mike Krzyzewski. Ian, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is a topic that I didn't know how it just got me from the jump. I was so into this, and maybe it was because Tommy Amaker was here at Michigan and developed a relationship with him here. But what about this topic? Why did you dive into this topic at Duke and with Coach Mike Krzyzewski?
Well, listen, I've always been fascinated by iconic figures in sports. My previous books on Derek Jeter, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, obviously Bill Belichick as well. And I was around the Duke program a little bit in the 90s when they won their first national titles with the Grant Hill, Christian Laettner, Bobby Hurley team. So I didn't think there was a defining work yet on Coach K's life. And to some extent, I guess I got a little bit lucky that he decided to make this his final season. And there's a lot of attention on him now that the NFL season is over. But the Amaker story is interesting because it had never been written before that really he was the one that the Duke administration wanted to hire and got the first offer. Coach K felt that John Shire would have been a better coach for what he wanted the future of the program to be, and had a conversation with Tommy Amaker, who he was very close to, obviously was a very good player there, an assistant coach who left in 1997. And that impacted the process and was the reason why John Shire ultimately got the head coaching job at Duke.
Hey, Ian, I actually know Tommy well. When I was at Michigan, he was there coaching. I thought that the players, they didn't appreciate what they had. Let's just leave it at that. But one player did, my best friend Hayes Grooms, who came and played under him. But for 2 seconds, let's just shift. I always thought Johnny Dawkins was going to be the guy that would be next at Duke. And maybe I'm not as in tune with basketball like I used to, but it just seemed like a perfect fit. And I think that the story when they played each other in the tournament 4 years ago or so, when Johnny Dawkins' team was the captain of that team, I just thought Johnny Dawkins was the next man up. So what happened with that, or was there ever anything there?
No, I think Braylon, he was a factor in the search. And when you think about it, he's really the recruit who made that program. Dawkins changed everything for Coach K and that recruiting class, particularly him. So in that context, and also in the context of almost beating him in that classic game, he's one tap in away, the ball's hanging on the rim to knock Duke off at Central Florida. And so he was a very worthy candidate. I think all along it seemed that Amaker had a slight edge on Dawkins in that coaching derby, if you will. And Shire sort of came out of left field a little bit. I don't think many people in the last 5 years or so thought that Shire was going to end up getting that job, replacing arguably the greatest coach of all time. So I would say the answer to your question is that Dawkins was in there. He was considered, but he was not in the top two, at least based on the sourcing I have in the book.
Ian, it's so funny you mentioned that, because when it was announced that John Shire was going to take over for Coach K at Duke, I was like, who? Huh? Who? It just came out of nowhere, seemingly.
Well, he did win a national championship as a player. He was a good player. He really was. I think he would have played in the NBA for a number of years with LeBron James at the start in Miami. He suffered a pretty serious eye injury that derailed his pro career. But and listen, he's respected in recruiting circles as an assistant coach. The former players really do have a lot of respect for him. But I think a lot of people were surprised and disappointed, frankly, that Amaker didn't get the job. When you look at a guy in his mid-50s who's been a head coach in Division I at 3 different places. John Shire obviously did not have any head coaching experience and had never coached anywhere else. And that, to me, was ultimately the deciding factor in Coach K pushing him through. Krzyzewski believed that with Shire taking over the program, he'd have more control over it, and he molded Shire. Amaker's been away from Durham for 24, 25 years, so I think he felt Amaker would have come in with some of his own ideas on how to run the program, and that might not be necessarily what Coach K wanted.
Ian, we have our own Coach K here in East Lansing, Tom Izzo. Coaches like him, Roy Williams, Coach K. Now we have a guy in Ann Arbor by the name of Juwan Howard. You got Anthony Hardaway in Memphis. Are the older generation guys, is it their time to step away for the younger generation?
Yeah. I don't know if I would say that, generally speaking. I think Izzo's still going pretty strong, and obviously he had a great win knocking off that Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett team in the Final Eight. And so, but for Coach K, he's 75, so certainly it's his time, I think, to move on and turn it over to a younger coach. But no, I wouldn't say that as a sweeping generalization that it's time for the old guard to leave. I think you can have a mix, and it always makes for an interesting. Whenever you have a diverse field of coaches, I think it makes college sports more interesting and fascinating to watch. So I would say that applies to certainly Coach K after 47 years in Division I, 5 at Army, 42 of course at Duke, but maybe not to everybody else.
Hey, I'm an old guy. I want the old guys to stay going, but it's just the way. It's the way that it's the new athlete. Can you coach them the way those guys coached? That was more of my question.
I think this generation of player is different. I think obviously kids around America, at least in my opinion, at age 57, are more sensitive today than they were in the past. So I think you do have to temper your approach with this generation of athlete. But I think that the good older coaches can do that. They can adapt. And the one thing you can say about Krzyzewski over his 42 years at Duke, he's adapted to everything. He had to figure out how to coach LeBron James and Kobe Bryant at the Olympics. And after that experience and winning the gold, particularly in Beijing in 2008, he came back to Duke and said, I'm diving right into this one-and-done thing that people thought I would never do. Once he got a taste of coaching the greatest players, some of the greatest players of all time in the Olympics, he wanted to recruit John Wall, who he lost to Kentucky. He wanted Kyrie Irving. He wanted Jabari Parker, the one-and-done players at Duke. And so that experience actually changed everything for Coach K. But I think he's proven over time that the older guys, the better ones anyway, can adapt and relate to the younger players.
Talking to Ian O'Connor, New York Times bestselling author. Actually, you have a perfect setup, and the way that our graphic artist did over here, and that's Alex, he has the microphone kind of setup. It's perfect. I always thought you had your own microphone, but I saw it was our own graphic. I want to get back to Coach Krzyzewski. I want to ask you this question. With him leaving, with him being at Duke so long, with him controlling the pulse that is Duke basketball, with him being right there, I know he's leaving, he's letting Shire take over. How close does Mike Krzyzewski stay to the program? How close does he stay and try to add his imprint, or does he just walk away completely?
No, good question, Braylon. He's going to keep his office, actually. And I'm not sure if I'm John Shire, I'm not sure I would love that. I think if you took over a Fortune 500 company as CEO, would you want the previous CEO to stick around on the board or as an advisor or consultant? I don't think so. But Coach K, again, this might be, and I think it is one of the reasons why he wanted Shire to get this job. Coach K does have 2 daughters who work in the department, and he wants to keep involved to some degree. And I think if he wants to attend practice, he wants a coach who will let him do that. And so he'll keep his office. He doesn't have many hobbies. He doesn't play golf like Roy Williams. He does a little gardening, believe it or not. And he used to play tennis, but I don't think he can physically do that anymore to any great degree. So he's a guy I believe will be involved and be present in Cameron Indoor Stadium going forward.
Talking to Ian O'Connor. Ian, before we get you out of here, man, I could talk to you about this for an hour. Cannot wait to get my hands on this book. Read the excerpts. One of the interesting areas of this is the Bob Knight relationship. What can you speak about in terms of Coach K and Bob Knight?
Well, the relationship ended in 2015 at a function in Pinehurst, North Carolina, at a West Point reunion. Their relationship started to dissolve in 1992 after Coach K beat him at the Final Four. That was the beginning of the end. Now, it took a long time for it to actually end, but at that reunion in Pinehurst in 2015, Coach K went up to Bob Knight, who completely ignored him. And there had been a number of slights over the years that Coach K sort of not ignored, but overcame and kept the relationship somewhat intact, but he had had enough. And he stormed out of the room, and he told his friends who told me for the book on the record that he said, that is the last bleeping time I'm going to try talking to this guy or have any relationship with him. And my reporting shows I don't believe they've had a conversation since. So,
wow. Dang, that's sad.
It is, because they're two of the titans of the sport. And that was his college coach at Army. That's the guy who really brought him raised him in the business and the sport. And it's unfortunate, but once Krzyzewski surpassed Bob Knight. The mentor could not handle the protege doing that, and I think that ultimately ended the relationship.
Incredible stuff. Great reporting. And again, looking really forward to the book. Three-time New York Times best-selling author. I think it might be four-time pretty soon.
I mean, that's what Aaron Rodgers did. Aaron Rodgers said, you mean four?
New York Post sports columnist.
Yeah, watch that.
Ian O'Connor, I was the New York Times best-selling author, New York Post sports columnist. Ian, thanks so much for the time, sir. Best of luck with the book.
Yeah. Thanks, Ian.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure's all ours.
Thanks.
Awesome stuff, man. Isn't that something, though, in Braylon? It is sad to see a relationship built.
It's all on Knight.
The teacher could not handle the student coming back and beating him.
Unbelievable.
That's what makes it even sadder is the fact that, Mike Krzyzewski being the pupil, being the apt pupil, being the mentee, trying to let things slide, trying to let them subside, understanding that he knows who his coach is. He knows how his coach is. And finally, good for him, by the way, he just had to say F it and move on.
I want to follow up to something that you asked as well, Maz. We'll do it next. Is it getting younger and younger and younger with the players and the coaches, Ermanni and Edwards?
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes?
Touchdown! What a play!
Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet, the Woodward Sports Network.
Citron is an aspirational lifestyle brand with a line of sparkling flavor energy drinks and bottled water and premium revitalizer shots. I take the revitalizer shots. Like I tell you, every morning when I wake up, they taste so good. They get me going. They get the energy, nutrients, vitamins, essential to the body's growth and health. Partners with the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Pistons. Guess what? Sold exclusively at LCA Arena. But you know what? Citron isn't just here to fulfill and replenish your thirst. No, they're here for more than that. They're here for the memorable moments. They want to be a part of your life. Whether it's a party, whether it's you hanging out, whether it's you working out, Citron wants to enhance your life. They want to be here. They want to get it down. Buy online at citronworld.com with promo code REDWINGS10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it and live it with Citron.
All right, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Fascinating stuff from Ian O'Connor about this book. And it just goes to show you, too, Maz, and you brought up the age thing.
Yeah.
In Coach K, his unwillingness to actually step away. And maybe he knows that Tommy Amaker would probably want to create his whole own situation there. I mean,
I was surprised he passed him up.
Yeah.
Or kind of pushed him away.
And I bet Amaker, he felt like that was his, right?
Yeah. But I mean, Bo Schembechler had an office. Like when I was there, Bo had an office, at Schembechler. The place named after him, I guess you would have an office. But he wasn't in all the time. He wasn't there trying to micromanage Lloyd Carr. He had already given Lloyd Carr the step away. Like talking about the young guys, though, I think that's where we go. That was a great question, talking about the young coaches coaching the young players. And I think when we had Jay Billis on earlier this year, Jay kind of talked about it. He said, you will see some of these younger coaches, you will see some of these former players. He said, but you'll still see some of the older guys as well, because older guys, they get it. They still can connect to the players, the ones that can adapt. That was a big word that Ian O'Connor just used, the adaptation. Talked about Coach K adapting to the Olympics, adapting to LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, KD. It's very different.
And Bobby Knight couldn't adapt.
Bobby Knight couldn't, man. He comes from the Woody Hayes kind of tree where it's like we can put hands on players. We can do what there are soldiers. No, they're not.
One of the things, too, that I think so many people have a hard time doing, and it's no different really I'll speak for myself. I mean, I grew up in an era that you didn't get water breaks at football practice.
Nope.
If you asked for water, you were a wuss.
Over and backs.
Yeah, over and backs.
That ended with Corey Stringer passing away.
Yeah, it did.
2001.
But again, we grew up differently than kids are growing up today, even in the workplace, right? I mean, there's younger people that really. Sometimes it's hard to communicate because we're one way and they're growing up a different way. And that communication, I think that communication is the most powerful thing that you can do. And a lot of us have to adapt to them almost because they're not going to adapt to us. They're just going to change the way it's going. And just like Amaker, can Amaker coach a 17, 18-year-old kid coming in? Maybe he could. Maybe he would have a hard time because the caliber of athlete that he's getting at Duke is a lot different than the caliber of athlete he's getting at Harvard.
I agree. There is a lot there. He's getting McDonald's All-American. He's getting guys that have been getting their butt wiped for them like consistently, not just that baby, all the way to the 18-year-old process. But I think he can. I was there at Michigan when he had Deion Harris, when he had Daniel Horton, when he had Corey Simmons, and he had players like that. I was there then, and it wasn't that long ago. This is 2009, 10 you're talking, so it's 12 years ago. He can still coach that type of player. He is an individual. He has a couple things. It's discipline. He said great shots, passing. Outside of that, he can adapt, I do believe, and he could have been really good at that job. But the one thing that did stick out, I also was like, well, you know what? He hasn't been in Duke. He hasn't been in Chapel Hill in 24 years. That did kind of stick out to me because they're doing things different down there. That one did stick out to me.
Well, Bray, let me ask you this about Tommy Amaker. You said a lot of those guys in Michigan missed the boat on him.
They did.
They took him for granted.
They did.
What did they do? What did they take for granted?
They were undisciplined. They wouldn't listen to his tutelage. They wouldn't listen to a man that knows what he's talking about to have success. Like the best record they had, I can't remember what it was, but they won the NIT tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I think my sophomore year.
Was that Lavelle Blanchard?
That was Lavelle's last year. I think it was 90. That was Lavelle's last year. Lavelle and Bernard Robinson.
How about Maceo Baston?
Oh, man. He won. He was the best dunker in the Big Ten, but he wasn't on that team.
God rest his soul, but that was a different coach.
I love that team.
This is 2002. 2002. It was 2003. It was the year we won the Big Ten and beat Ohio State. First time when I was there. They won the NIT, but they could have been much better. Like Daniel Horton was a McDonald's All-American.
Oh, yeah.
Deion Harris played against LeBron. He was Redford High School versus LeBron School.
Horton never missed a free throw.
St. Vincent St. Mary.
St. Vincent St. Mary's. Like they were a good team, but they just wouldn't listen to his tutelage. They were going out. They were doing the wrong things, and they missed the boat on him. And then Michigan, they get rid of him. Since he goes to Harvard. And he has all the success in the world, even in the tournament. So that's why I believe they missed the boat on him. Not to mention one of my good friends, Hayes Grooms IV, was on that team. He transferred from Lamar University. He came there. And he was a guy that had been to Lamar, a smaller school, came to Michigan, and he realized what he had. And he was my roommate. He used to tell me about Coach all the time, talk about his tutelage, the things that he instilled in him, how good of a coach he was. He had Ramsey's as an assistant coach. Ramsey, who became the coach at Eastern. Hayes would tell me these things, and so I saw it and I heard it firsthand.
And nobody rocked a turtleneck like Tommy.
But you mentioned also, and it did ultimately work out for Michigan, right?
Marty Schottenheimer.
It did ultimately work out for Michigan, eventually with John Beilein and the like, although it took some years after Amaker before they righted the ship. I will say this about a guy like Tom Izzo, a guy like Bill Self, a guy like Jim Boeheim, who's
he's
95 years old.
He's got sons on the team.
I know. Is he 96, 97 years old?
He's up there.
He's one of the starters of the Big East.
Yeah, right. I mean, if these guys weren't able to change the way they coach kids today, they still wouldn't be there. Yeah. And they wouldn't be getting the recruits they're getting. So good for Tom Izzo. Good for Jim Boeheim. Good for Bill Self.
Huggins.
Huggins is another guy.
Huggins is another.
Bruce Pearl, I'm a fan of his.
Bob Huggins is probably as close to Bob Knight as there is in today's
And he made
college
West Virginia
basketball.
a player. For crying out
Absolutely.
loud.
Well, John Beeline did as well.
Good. I forgot about
Yeah.
Beeline there.
Yes.
I was going to say they haven't been good since Jerry West.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
It's incredible.
Cherry West.
So lots going on there. I do want to stick with some basketball next. There's a big trade. Both guys spoke yesterday. We didn't get it.
Finally.
We were
I've been waiting
so
to get to
heavy
this.
into the NFL yesterday.
Can we make
into
this
Matthew
Braylon's
Stafford.
basketball minute?
This is going to be Braylon's basketball 10 minutes.
There we go.
We're going to do it next. James Harden spoke.
Oh,
Ben,
man.
I saw the
I got to stretch
greatest.
before this one.
I saw the greatest meme today that if anybody watched the Cosby Show, it said Lisa Bonet sewed James Harden's jacket. And if you see the jacket,
I got a Bill Cosby sweater on right now.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. James Harden of the Nets, James Harden of the Sixers.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons of the Nets. Both guys spoke yesterday. And plus, Adam Silver weighs in on the New York vaccine mandate that is keeping Kyrie Irving away from home games. We'll speak on that next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Man, I'm so excited. Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I hope they play against each other.
Oh, they definitely are. They definitely are going to play against each other. I'm telling you, they're going to play against each other.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey gang, I want to tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
You better
What's it
stay
say?
the hell out.
It says stay out! Stay out! That's right. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe. 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, your business, control your lights, temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, even going to let you lock and unlock your doors. All you have to do is call this number right there, 1-800-STAY-OUT! That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT! Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Stay the hell out!
Why did you want out of Brooklyn, and why did you want Philadelphia to be your destination?
Originally, when I was going through everything I was going through, in Houston, Philly was my first choice. It just didn't happen. So, but just detailed, I don't really want to get into, the Brooklyn situation. I just knew, for a very long time this was a perfect fit. And obviously you got a big man, the best big man in the league in Joel. And then obviously the coaching, just from top to bottom, it made sense. And I'm just happy and blessed that I'm here. And as Doc and everybody knows and everybody wants is to win and be the last team standing. So I'm excited for the opportunity.
So what I took from this when I watched it yesterday, because I watched both. Ben Simmons spoke as well. We may have that clip, we may not. But let's deal with James Harden.
We have it.
Let's deal. Of course, it's Al May. I know he has it, as given by my guy, Maz. What I took from this clip and just the conversation is that he didn't want to go to Brooklyn. He always wanted to go to Philly. Philly was the move that he wanted to go to. Joel Embiid's one of the best players. He's the best big man in basketball in terms of skill. Now, will I take him over Jokic? It's a whole other story. But in terms of skill, he's never had a big man that he could do the pick and roll with. He had Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was nowhere near the Dwight Howard that he once was in Orlando when he came to Houston. So he's never had that guy, but it wasn't structurally ready in Philly. They couldn't bring him to Philly. So he said, you know what? I got talked into going to the Nets with my homeboy. Kyrie is a good friend of mine. KD is a good friend of mine. He goes there. It is not at all what he wanted it to be. Kyrie, legitimately, with the vaccine and the injuries, he wasn't available.
And the flat earth.
And the flat earth, which he now says he doesn't believe in and never did. You can go figure. And then KD got injured as well. It just wasn't what he wanted to be. I mean, this thing could have been special. They only played 16 games.
Some guys just aren't cut out to play in New York either.
And they went to the wrong team because they were supposed to go to the Knicks. And they eventually, Kyrie settled on Brooklyn because it's down the street from his dad's house, etc. But that's neither here nor there. But what he said in this interview later on, he says, look, me and Kyrie are friends. When anybody starts with, look, me and such, that means the second part of that answer is going to tell you what it really was. He was like, yo, me and Kyrie are boys. We're close. But Kyrie, whatever he's going through, whatever he was going through, it wasn't conducive to us winning. So basically, I had to get the hell out of there. He gets a bad rap. Well, I'm not going to say a bad rap because he has left some teams, and you're like, well, he keeps leaving. Is it him? Everywhere he's went, it's been the wrong situation. You bring in a hurt Chris Paul, and then you bring in Dwight Howard, who no longer has it anymore. You know, he comes out to, like, look at Chris Paul now. He's playing a lot better. With James Harden, he now goes to a team that's doing really well with Joel Embiid. They have Tobias Harris. I think they trade away way too much to, with Ben Simmons, because you now put the Nets in a situation where they have it all. But he basically told the truth. He said, listen, Kyrie was doing too much. He said it wasn't conducive to us winning, wasn't conducive to my thought process. It's like I'm literally coming for one reason. You're not here. You're not available. Now I got to answer questions about what you're doing. Look, I just want to ball. I just want to play basketball. And now he's going to get that opportunity with the Philadelphia 76ers. And, oh, by the way, it's going to be a light show when they play on March 16th because Ben Simmons is excited. He's feeling good. He did say something in that interview, if we have it. I want to get that up. Talking about mental health.
Oh, yeah.
So he talked about leaving the Sixers. Let's do that first, and then we'll talk about him being in net.
This is his mental health.
On leaving the Sixers.
I don't think it was really that. It was more so just it was just piled up. A bunch of things that have gone on over the years to where I just knew I wasn't myself, and I needed to get back into that place of, being myself and being happy as a person, and taking care of my well-being. And that was that was the major thing for me. It wasn't about the basketball. It wasn't about the money, anything like that. I want to be who I am and get back to, playing basketball at that level and, being myself.
And the last game?
Last game?
Yeah, just kind of what was going on through your mind after the last game?
I need to get in a good place mentally, honestly. That was the main thing.
Worth pointing out that Ben Simmons surrendered $20 million of salary to benefit his mental health.
Not yet, because the deal isn't settled. Like, as of right now, he owes.
Yes, he owes $20 million in fines for not playing.
That can't happen.
It can. I mean, that's what it is. No, they're gonna get their money.
It's not gonna happen because you can't chart mental health. You can't break down mental health world. Well, you didn't have mental health.
That's
you didn't have that
exactly
level.
why it's going to happen.
No, it's not. Because if this happens, if this deal happens where, and I'm going to get into that, because there are people going to talk about, is he really suffering from mental health, which is, it's hard to track if someone is suffering from mental health because everybody is. There's a lot of things, a lot of factors in this situation that I'll wait to comment on because I want to kind of see how things play out between the Philadelphia 76ers and between Ben Simmons himself. So I don't think they'll be able to get that 20, but that's just my thought process. The problem that people have with Ben Simmons' press conference is the timeline of things. It's basically, he said, was it anybody in particular? Well, no, it's not the organization. It's not this. I just felt like I couldn't be myself and the mental health. And nothing was ever said about mental health before the bad Game 7 with the free throws and the one for whatever it was and the lack of shots in the playoffs.
And the passing up a dunk.
The passing up a dunk. Nothing was said about it. And then all of a sudden, after the game, and people are attacking, and you see the memes, and you see, Doc comes out, and Joel comes out, then the mental health thing. So that's where you're going to have the butting of the heads with Ben's legal team and with the 76ers legal team and the NBA. Because one, it's hard to track mental health, because he did say some things that I took note of. One thing they said was, because people are pointing out how he was smiling now. Like, now that he was on the sideline with the Nets, he's smiling. He said, well, what about people saying you're smiling now? He said, people should be happy I'm smiling now because I've been in some pretty dark places. Mm-hmm. And I understand what he means by that. Like, I went through some dark times when I retired in 2015. There was dark times. So
Smile doesn't mean anything.
Anybody can smile. Yeah. You just because, like, the mind is interesting. Even psychologists can't necessarily break down, he's smiling, but in the next moment he can do something crazy. So with that being said, that will be interesting. But there's also other factors like Ben Simmons, and I heard this from Jay Will, so I can't take Jay Will, ESPN. I can't take his point and make it my own. He was talking about, he knows some insight. He has more insight than, but he had divulged a little bit of it. He loves his country. Everybody knows Ben Simmons from Australia. He's from Australia. When everybody was pissed at Ben Simmons going on after the year last year, after the year he had. What was last year?
He's from Australia?
Yeah, born. He didn't move over here until what?
I have a mate from Australia.
He's like 14. He didn't come over like 13 or 14.
I didn't know
I had
that.
no idea either.
Yeah,
So
look at that.
He legitimately, everybody was mad at him. He could have played with Australia last year in the Olympics. He loves his country. He's always out there. And when he was dating Kendall, that's all they always were. But he didn't play for Australia. He stayed in head, and he just went into a cave and disappeared. He was trying to find Bin Laden for a long time before he came out with his phone in his pocket.
He was trying to find Bin Laden?
Would you shut up?
Oh.
You shut the hell
It's
up.
he's dead for about
I was
a decade
saying
now, Bin
trying
Laden.
to find Bin Laden. So there just are way too many factors to make a judgment on as it relates to that. Now let's get our ass on the court right now.
Yeah.
Now on the court, the Brooklyn Nets are dangerous. And the reason why they're dangerous is because with Kyrie and this mandate that's going to come down, and Kyrie being able to play, especially Adam Silver, we'll be able to talk about that.
Yep. We'll play that in a couple of minutes.
They now have an individual that's a 6'10" point guard that can dribble like a 6'2" point guard, can handle the ball but doesn't need to. You got Kyrie, you got him. People forget that Ben Simmons finished second for defensive MVP last year. Should have won. Finished second, which means now you got a 6'10" defender who can basically cover a point guard, a 2 guard, a 3 guard, a 4. Who are they going to have to play in the finals? Or who are they going to have to play in the East? The East. They're going to have to play Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah. He can guard Giannis. They're going to have to play James Harden. He can guard James Harden. He can switch off with KD and Andre Drummond, who's just brought there for fouls, on Joel Embiid. He doesn't have to shoot. You got Steph Curry. You got Seth Curry, who has a better three-point percentage than Steph Curry, in the corner wide open. You got KD, the best player on the planet when he's healthy. You got guys that can shoot. He doesn't have to worry.
I can't wait to watch this.
He doesn't have to worry about too much.
I want to watch him too.
Ben Simmons is going to do a lot more, and he is not too much is being asked of him.
Let's hear from him. Ben Simmons talking about being a Brooklyn Net.
Hey, Ben, there was so much sourced reporting around everything going on with you. So I guess so you're saying that the mental health issue preceded you requesting the trade in the offseason. Okay, I guess can you just shed a little light on the timeline and everything?
Yeah, for me, that was never – the mental health has nothing to do with just the trade, It was a bunch of things that I was dealing with as a person in my personal life that I don't really want to go into depth with. But yeah, I'm here now, so it's a blessing to be in an organization like this, and I'm just looking forward to getting back on the floor and building something great here.
So if nothing else, this gives a lot of excitement in an NBA season where LeBron James and the LA Lakers are really, really bad, not very good. There's no drama. The Celtics are winning games right now, but there's
48 points.
Crazy last night. There's really no sexy appeal in the NBA right now. Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks are not sexy. This gives the NBA everything they need as they get into the postseason here.
The NBA needed this trade.
They absolutely needed this trade. They absolutely needed to create some juice. One thing about the Brooklyn Nets that we did mention, I do want to play the Adam Silver because we've covered it. We'll play it in the next segment, but we've covered this vaccine mandate in New York that has prevented Kyrie Irving from playing home games only because of the indoor vaccine mandate. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, doing a total about-face about this vaccine mandate. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. He just gets it right, too.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey guys, it's Maz for Chili Peppers Tanning. Chili Peppers Tanning is where you're going to find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless sanitized rooms, trained and certified tanning professionals. Don't forget, Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat everyone by $5. Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold. How about Swedish beauty lotions as well? ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. 28 locations and growing. How about that? Big D Energy is going to be live on Monday, Braylon's birthday.
Yes,
They're
sir.
going to be at the Berkeley Grand Opening right here on Woodward Avenue between 11 and 12 Mile Road on Monday between 11 and 1. Chili Peppers Tanning.
Hey, that Australian Gold, did Ben Simmons donate that?
He might have.
There you go.
Over 150 likes on YouTube. Let's see if we can get to 200 before the end of the show. 20 minutes left. Thanks to everybody who is tuning in on YouTube. Of course, anywhere podcasts are found, we certainly appreciate it here at Woodward Sports Network. As we mentioned as well, over 20,000 subscribers now on YouTube. We'll try to crank that thing up to 30,000.
Let's get it cranking, man. Our fans, our followers, our listeners, they have done viewers as well. They have done amazing by us by the last 3 weeks. I mean, to be honest, 7 months. But especially, they have become the nuts and bolts of what we present and what we do. Shout out to you guys because you make Woodward Sports go.
The Beeliners.
Without question. Guys, just want to follow up to Adam Silver here, the commissioner of the NBA. Again, for those of you just joining us, Kyrie Irving has not been able to play all season in Brooklyn at home games because of the New York City vaccine mandate. He is unvaccinated. He can play road games, but he can't play home games. Adam Silver kind of doing a complete about-face on vaccine mandates regarding New York City. Here he is this morning on ESPN.
It's a sensitive subject, of course, but, Kyrie Irving's decision not to be vaccinated has had a major impact on the season in so many different ways. And the circumstances around COVID shift around so much. I think a lot of fans would be curious to know what, if anything, you know about where we should expect vaccine policies to be by the time, for example, we get to the NBA playoffs.
Honestly, I have no inside information. I'm here in New York, and that's where that ordinance is in place that has the direct impact on Kyrie. I'll say, to me, just stepping back, while it's been the league's position that we wanted to see every player vaccinated and boosted, that's not something the Players Association was willing to do. Having said that, though, we got to voluntarily 98% of our players boosted, and vaccinated, and then the vast majority of them are boosted. This law in New York, the oddity of it to me is that it only applies to home players. I mean, I think if ultimately that rule is about protecting people who are in the arena, it just doesn't quite make sense to me that an away player who's unvaccinated can play in Barclays, but the home player can't. So to me, that's a reason they should take a look at that ordinance. I'll say also, again, being here in the New York market, feeling particularly in the last week, many of the masking restrictions are being lifted. You can just feel it in the city. There are more people in restaurants, more people out and about. And so while, again, my personal view is people should get vaccinated and boosted, I can imagine a scenario where Brooklyn, as part of New York City, with a new mayor now who wasn't in place, Eric Adams, when that original ordinance was put in place, I could see him deciding to change along the way and say it's no longer necessary to have a mandatory vaccination requirement. As I said, particularly one that only affects home players.
So that's really the point there, too, and I think it's an important clarification to make. You tell me if this makes sense or not. Let's just take the city of Detroit. A member of the Detroit Pistons who's vaccinated, a member of the Detroit Pistons who is unvaccinated can go to Brooklyn and play that game against the Nets.
But Kyrie can't.
But Kyrie, being a member of the home team, cannot play as a member for the Nets.
That's just stupid.
It just makes no sense.
Welcome to 2022.
So, and we'll see. And Adam Silver said everybody in New York, the mask mandates are going away and everything like that. There's a different feeling in the air. Obviously, NBA league offices are in New York. Michigan's mask mandate, for what it's worth, went away today. Michigan ends mask recommendation for indoor public settings, including schools. That happened today, just before our show. I'm not sure of a date on this.
Oakland County lifted it last week.
Not going to get through. So either way, regarding the NBA, I do believe when it's go time, when it's playoff times, Kyrie Irving is going to be able to play. I think that goes away mid-April, May, whatever the case may be. The Brooklyn Nets are going to be a dangerous team, man. Yeah. The Brooklyn Nets are probably going to be, well, it's a 3-team race in no disrespect to the Chicago Bulls, who is what, the number 1 team
number 2
in the East, number 1, number 2 in
Make
the
it a
East.
4-horse race.
But okay, make it a 4-horse race, but
they're not sexy.
Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Brooklyn, and I am here for it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And Maz, myself, Ryan, we've talked about this now for about the last 2 weeks. We've said that right around that All-Star break, that's when they're going to start shaking some things up. Yep. That's when they're going to start opening New York up, because you can't have the best player in the NBA not in the thick of things. And for KD to be in the thick of things, you got to let Kyrie play.
When is he coming back, Kevin Durant? Do we know?
It could be any time.
After the All-Star break?
He's just going to take his time, man. It's regular season.
I tell you what, I know a target date. I think he and Ben Simmons will be playing. That'll be that March 11th or March 16th game, March 16th against Philadelphia 76ers. But you got to have the best player in the league, and that's KD, in the chance to be close right there. Like, they've always done that for LeBron. They always make those special exceptions, or they always kind of certainly make things happen so that you can have your best players play. And your best players is Kevin Durant. Now you have Ben Simmons, and then Kyrie, when he's playing, he is the best point guard in the NBA. So what do? Now you start to hear the rumblings of, well, I think we have a new mayor in there, so we'll change the mass vaccination mandate. Well, we know it's not fair that the opposing team, he can be not vaccinated, come into the Barclays, not wear a mask and play. They're going to get it right, and Kyrie will be playing full-time, I promise you, 2 weeks after All-Star break.
And by the way, Ben Simmons is going to come in as a man possessed. Right? I mean, he hasn't played all season. You did say that. I told you.
I got Ben Simmons final MVP. I'm just saying.
And
I hope you're right.
And James Harden, I don't think the book is written on that team either.
No. He looked a little thin at the press conference. I saw him on the sidelines yesterday when they got beat by 48. You know, somebody said he was wearing a fat suit. Said the same fat suit that he wore in Houston to get out of Houston, and then he looked skinny. Kind of looked a little thinner. Maybe he was wearing black last night.
So last night the Sixers got torched.
48
right? They lost by 48 to the Celtics, who
another East team
on a tear. And so there's this shot where Joel Embiid has the ball beyond the arc, and he dribbles it through his legs, step back 3, and it gets blocked. And somebody on the internet always wins, right? The internet always wins. They said, look at Joel Embiid after one practice with James Harden.
That's awesome.
Through the legs, dribble, step back 3, block.
No defense either.
No, they give up one. They gave up 135 last night or something like that.
It was ridiculous.
135. Incredible stuff. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Final segment of the show coming up next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
I live next to
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford. Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet. Located in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, Les Stanford is your Corvette king. GM announced the all-new 2023 Corvette Z06 flat plane V8 capable of 670 horsepower, making it the most naturally aspirated V8 in production. You want speed? How about this? 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds.
How quick?
0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. For more, go on to CorvetteKing.com, CorvetteKing.com, or for all your other Chevy or Cadillac needs, head over to LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com, Les Stanford.
Find new roads.
Sir, find them. There you go. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Mazawey. Hell of a show today.
And our
we
buddy
are
Joe.
not done yet. Joe, come on up here. Say hello to everybody.
Joe.
Come on,
Hey, Joe, take this.
Joe, take the
Smoking
mic. Joe, take the mic. Come on up here,
Freeze.
Joe. Come on up here.
Come on up here, Joe.
Get front and center
I'll put
over
you right in the
here.
middle.
So Joe Lewisell is a student at Grosse Pointe South High School. Big sports fan. Joe.
He's a Michigan guy, by the way.
Yep.
Yes.
He loves Michigan. What did you think of the Super Bowl? What's your take on Matthew Stafford winning the Super Bowl?
Well, I think obviously he's a very good quarterback, and obviously I think having Sean McVay helped him a lot, and I think I kind of feel like I was a little hard on him, but at the end of the day, he gave everything he had to the city, and there's not really much more I can say.
Do you want him back as a member of the Lions in 2 years?
Absolutely. I don't think Goff's the answer. Goff is like a babysitter. He's not meant to be the franchise guy.
Stopgap kind of guy.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
I got a question for him.
And I think Dan Campbell is definitely the right guy. And I think
This guy.
I think Stafford, the last 3 years of his career were wasted by Patricia. Probably one of the worst coaches in Detroit sports history.
Period.
Second worst.
Who behind?
Osmus.
Oh, Brad Osmus. That's true.
He took a World Series caliber team and turned them into the #1 draft pick.
Right. That's true.
It takes a special kind
We got to
of
get him on
stupidity
all
to
the
do
time.
that.
It's true.
Joe, I got one for you.
Yes.
Talk to me about your Michigan. Who's the quarterback next year?
Unfortunately, but I don't want to disrespect Cade, but I think JJ should be the guy. No disrespect to Cade. I'm forever grateful that he led us to the Big Ten championship in the playoffs. But if Michigan wants to take the next level
step,
and become like a Georgia, Alabama, consistently, I got to go with a guy like JJ. And I love Cade, but I think that JJ is the guy that I think is going to win us a national championship. And I got to give credit to the offensive line, Gaddis.
Absolutely.
But my thing with Gaddis is I'm not that mad that he left because I feel like we can do better. Okay. Not saying he wasn't bad, but I think that
I love it. I said he had 3 good weeks.
I'm being honest with you. I think having a new offensive coordinator, they got to open up the passing game more because Hassan Haskins will not be there to carry all the weight that I think led us to Indy, led us to a Big Ten championship game. And I think having JJ automatically takes the offense to the next level, makes them a top 5 offense to start the season next year. We're returning our receivers, Anthony.
They got everybody coming back
Edwards. I expect
my cousin.
I expect Ronnie Bell obviously coming back.
Look at this guy dropping dimes over here.
I think the receiver room will be loaded, and I think that having a guy like JJ who can take the next level. This team is an 11-win team next year.
You can't.
And Paul Bunyan is coming home.
That's right.
Paul Bunyan's coming home. Paul Bunyan's coming home.
Paul Bunyan's coming home.
He's got the Paul Bunyan trophy in there with the Michigan State hat.
You have to let little brother win once in a while. Make the series a little more interesting.
This is all Michigan State Network. Hey, this is great stuff. You cannot be afraid to take the next step of progression.
That's right.
There you go, man.
All right, Joe, I'm going to have you walk back. Give that mic back to Maz.
Appreciate you, Joe.
And then, because it is the time of the day, we like to play
Maz's
videos of
the day.
I can't top Joe.
No, you
How
can't
can I top
Joe.
him? But I'll start with one of our favorites, Matthew Stafford at home with Kelly. And look how cute this couple is in their backyard. Check them out.
Good job, Joe.
No.
Matthew Stafford just walked into his pool fully clothed.
I can't believe it.
Look at that guy having fun.
How do you not like this guy?
I love this couple.
Super Bowl winning QB. Woo!
How do you not like this guy? How can't you be happy for him? I mean, 12 years in Detroit.
Misery loves company.
How are those
back to your
Doritos?
Bland Doritos. Hashtag Bland Doritos.
I can't wait to finish my white cheddar Doritos, by the way. Hashtag Doritos. No, what was the hashtag today? Bland Doritos. That's right. Bland Doritos was trending earlier today. Let's keep it in the Stafford family. How about him out on the parade route? Someone was wearing a Lions number 9 on the sidelines. And look, Matthew Stafford points him out and points to his heart and says, thank you. Look at that. On the parade route in L.A., Matthew Stafford sees a Detroit Lions fan and gives him the heart sign.
Disneyland.
Oh, it was Disneyland.
Yep.
I'm going
How cool
to
is that?
Disneyland. Mm-hmm. When you wish upon a star.
Congrats, Matthew. Now get back here in 1 year. 1 year from now.
Very
this
good.
one's for Braylon. We take you back on this day in sports, 1991. 1 day before his birthday, because tomorrow's MJ's birthday. Michael Jordan. Triple clutch layup. Not a layup. It's a jam against the Nets and their powder blues. Check it out.
Jay Armstrong, right back. The Bulls can go up 14.
Derek Coleman.
Jordan past Petrovic.
Derek Coleman.
Stacey King.
That's
Did you
Derek
see
Coleman
that?
right there.
Triple clutch.
yes.
Look at this.
Look at DC.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, my God.
Reverse layup.
DC didn't know what the hell. Look at DC. Oh,
Drazen
wait.
Petrovic.
Look at
Remember
him.
him?
Of course, Petro
car
is
accident.
awesome.
Yep.
At the Olympics.
Terrible.
Petro was awesome. Look at those Nets and the tie-dye blues.
Powder blues.
Bring them back, baby. Bring those tie-dyes back.
Let's
So,
see him.
two things about that video. One, that was Derek Coleman, Detroit's own.
Love DC.
First $100 million deal in the NBA, by the way. Or second $100 million deal. Second of all, Drazen Petrovic was in that video, died in a car crash. Croatian, I do believe.
Yep.
Serbian or Croatian.
Yep.
He was amazing. Hey, you watched that special with the Olympics.
30 for 30 with
The
him.
Dream Team, they talked about trying to beat him up because he was coming in as the next guy. Yeah, guess what? He gave Dream Team 47.
He's not your Vetus. He's not my Vetus. He's our Vetus. Remember him?
I like
Sabonis.
that.
Come on,
Arvidas
yeah.
Sabonis.
Hey, side note,
Little
Zach
Craig
Taylor
Kilburn.
of the Bengals re-signed a
Extension.
new deal. So I guess they like their head coach.
Yeah, that's fine. Do think it's worth pointing out as well, the last 16 quarterbacks to lose the Super Bowl never made it back.
Oh, mama.
Think about that. Think about it. The last 16 quarterbacks to lose in the Super Bowl never made it another Super Bowl appearance. So will Joe Burrow?
First time. What was the last time? Say it again.
The last 16 quarterbacks to lose the Super Bowl. So,
Well, Tom lost and came back. Brady. So it has to be so.
yeah, read me the
That's
stat.
Each of the last 16 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut
There you go.
have
There you
never
go.
made it
Yeah,
back
there
to
you
the
go.
big game.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But with that being said, for you Cincinnati Bengals fans, no losing team has ever been in a situation like Cincinnati with all
true.
that they have coming back, whether it's money under cap,
That is
whether it's
true.
draft picks, whether it's extension of coach. So you guys could be different. Just saying.
I'll
That
read
is
them for
true.
you. Jimmy G, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, Rex Grossman, Matt Hasselbeck, Donovan McNabb, Stan Humphries, Chargers, Neil O'Donnell,
that.
Drew Bledsoe, Chris Chandler, Steve McNair, rest in peace, Kerry Collins, Rich Gannon, Jake Delhomme.
That's a bad list.
That's a.
I see why a lot of them didn't get back.
But there's some good ones on there.
There were 5.
Absolutely.
I'll give you
Maz, you out? Is that it for you?
That's it. I'm out of gas.
All right. Big show tomorrow, gang. Adam Schefter going to join these guys. Coming up 3:45 tomorrow. I am out for a couple of days. Just got some time off. Gonna get my mental health straight, right? That's
don't
what we're
do
gonna
that. Don't
We're
do
gonna
that.
just use some vacation days that we got.
Thanks for our birthday gifts, by
Yeah,
the way.
you got
Appreciate
it,
that.
man.
Thank
Love you guys.
Love
Happy
you too,
birthday, Maz Friday, Braylon Monday. You guys rock, man.
We love
Yeah,
you.
man, we love you too,
guys.
baby. Yeah, great show. It's been a great show. It was a great day. You know, sometimes you got to reset.
Shout out to Joe as well.
Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Joe. Joe was here. He blessed us with his knowledge, his expertise. I mean, legitimately, he could have took over the show. I could have got up and went and sat over in that seat. But great show, man. You know, sometimes you got to reset. You got to reset gears. Communication was key today, and communication got us to where we are. Shout out to Ian O'Connor, New York Times best-selling author. Amazing book on the way. Ryan can't wait to read it, and neither can I. And I'm not a reader, but I'm just excited, man. We got some basketball stuff.
You're a reader. You're just not a book reader.
Yeah, I'm a skimmer.
Yeah.
I'm a skimmer.
You like articles.
You and D taught me how to skim, so yeah, I can skim and retain.
Damien Woody was awesome today.
Damien Woody was
Shout
great.
out to my big brother, man. My mom, oh my God, I forgot to tell her my mom said hello. My mom was a huge fan of Damien, but
He'll be back.
Yeah, 100%, man. But this is what we do, man. We appreciate you. Once again, it always comes down to the fans, the listeners, the beeliners, as Maz likes to call them. We appreciate you as always. Tomorrow, Adam Schefter, and we don't have to say too much, man. For Sam, Alex, Ryan, myself, and Uncle Maz on the couch, and Joe. That's the bottom line. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
At the same time, I'm damn happy to be standing up here with you guys celebrating this shit. Come on. Let's go, y'all. I'm going to bring us a little Southern hospitality to this. I appreciate y'all so much. You guys have been unbelievable. Unbelievable all year. And you know what? We appreciate you. Let's go.